Imagine a suburban nightmare. A young couple, driven by darkness, brutally murders family, then lives with the bodies for a week. This isn't fiction. It's the shocking true story of Cassandra Bjorg and Johnny Ryder. What led them to such unspeakable acts? How did they evade capture while plotting further violence? Discover the chilling details, the overwhelming evidence, and the dramatic SWAT takedown. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew about safety and sanity. Stay with us as we unravel the twisted motives and haunting aftermath of this gruesome tale. You won't believe what happens next. Welcome to Spooky Stories. I'm Milo, your guide through the chilling and the unknown. Here, we dive into terrifying tales that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Join our community of thrill seekers, and let's explore the darkness together. It all began with an unimaginable act of violence that would forever alter the lives of everyone involved. Around the beginning of April 2017, a horrifying plan was set into motion by Cassandra Bjorg and her boyfriend, Johnny Ryder. In the quiet suburban home of Wendy and Randall Bjorg, Cassandra's grandparents, an atrocity unfolded. The couple, trusted and loved by their community, fell victim to a brutal and premeditated attack by the very granddaughter they had raised. Cassandra and Johnny, driven by motives still unclear, decided to end the lives of Wendy and Randall in a manner that defied comprehension and evoked sheer horror. The details of the murders were nothing short of chilling. In the moments leading up to their deaths, Wendy and Randall Bjorg experienced terror and pain that no one should endure. Both were overpowered and had their throats slit with precision, a violent act that ensured their immediate deaths. But the brutality did not stop there. Their bodies also bore the marks of blunt force trauma, indicating a frenzied and merciless assault. The combination of sharp force and blunt force injuries painted a grim picture of the couple's final moments, marked by violence and suffering at the hands of their own flesh and blood. In the aftermath of the murders, Cassandra and Johnny made a calculated effort to conceal their crime. They left the lifeless bodies of Wendy and Randall in the upstairs bathroom of the Bjorg home, a place that once symbolized comfort and family now turned into a tomb. To prevent the inevitable decomposition odors from alerting neighbors or visitors, they sealed the bathroom door with silicone. This methodical attempt to mask the smell of death indicated a disturbing level of foresight and cold-bloodedness. For approximately a week, the bodies remained hidden behind that sealed door, while Cassandra and Johnny continued to occupy the house, a macabre testament to their heinous act. After committing this horrific crime, Cassandra and Johnny made the unimaginable decision to remain in the house for approximately a week, coexisting with the gruesome evidence of their brutal act. The Bjorg home, once filled with warmth and family memories, was now a silent witness to unspeakable violence. During this period, the young couple engaged in extensive drug use, immersing themselves in a haze of intoxication that likely served as a temporary escape from the horrific reality of their actions. The drugs numbed their senses and dulled their awareness, providing a fleeting refuge from the gravity of their crimes. Inside the house, the atmosphere was a stark contrast to its former state. The once cozy and welcoming environment had transformed into a macabre den of iniquity. The rooms that had echoed with laughter and family gatherings now held a sinister stillness. The gruesome scene in the upstairs bathroom, sealed with silicone to contain the smell of decay, loomed over the entire house like a dark shadow. The couple's attempts to maintain a facade of normalcy were marred by the pervasive sense of dread and the constant reminder of their violent actions. Each day spent in that house was a testament to their detachment from the horrors they had wrought. Their drug-induced stupor provided only a temporary escape, and the reality of their actions loomed ever larger. The altered state of mind they maintained might have shielded them momentarily, but it also underscored the depths of their moral descent. The home, which should have been a sanctuary, had become a prison of their own making. The weight of their crime bore down on them, and the once safe confines of the Bjork residence now served as a grim backdrop to their spiraling descent into further violence and chaos. As the days passed, their continued presence in the house only deepened the tragedy, a harrowing juxtaposition of their mundane routines against the backdrop of their unforgivable deeds. The week following the brutal murders passed with an eerie silence from Wendy and Randall Bjork. Their absence began to raise alarm among family members who were used to regular contact with the couple. Initially, there were missed phone calls and unanswered messages, which led to increasing concern. The once routine communication had abruptly ceased, and with each passing day, the worry grew more profound. Family members, sensing that something was gravely wrong, decided to take action, fearing for the worst. On April 6, 2017, the Gwinnett County Police were called to the Bjork residence for a welfare check. Responding officers knocked on the door, their presence an attempt to ensure everything was in order. The house, standing silent and unresponsive, offered no immediate clues. There were no signs of forced entry, no disturbances that met the eye. The officers, adhering to protocol, found no justification to force their way inside. They left, but the gnawing concern of the family persisted. Later that same evening, another call for a welfare check was made. Again, officers visited the home, knocked, and observed. The house remained silent, and with no visible signs of trouble, the officers departed once more. The following day, April 7th, brought a renewed sense of urgency. The lack of contact from Wendy and Randall was now deeply unsettling. The family's desperation escalated, leading to another request for a welfare check. Officers arrived at the Bjork home for the third time in 2 days. They knocked on the door, their senses alert for any indication of what might be wrong inside. However, just like the previous visits, there was nothing overtly suspicious that warranted immediate action. The house, with its seemingly undisturbed exterior, gave no hints of the horrors concealed within. The officers, bound by the limits of their procedures, left without entering, unaware that just beyond the door lay the grim evidence of a heinous crime. The situation took a dramatic and violent turn on the night of April 8th, escalating the already tense and mysterious circumstances surrounding the Bjork family. Johnny Ryder, accompanied by Cassandra Bjork, carried out a brazen and brutal attack on Johnny's sister and her boyfriend at a house on Rambling Woods Drive. The couple had likely intended to eliminate any perceived threats or witnesses to their previous crimes, pushing their descent into violence even further. The attack was swift and brutal, with Johnny and Cassandra exhibiting a level of aggression and ruthlessness that left their victims terrified and injured. The violent confrontation, however, did not go entirely according to Johnny and Cassandra's plan. Johnny's sister's boyfriend, despite the suddenness and ferocity of the attack, managed to fight back. His resistance disrupted the assailant's assault, buying enough time for someone to call the police. The struggle was intense, with both sides grappling for control and survival. The boyfriend's bravery in the face of such danger likely saved both their lives, as it prevented Johnny and Cassandra from carrying out what could have been a double murder. The chaotic scene was one of raw violence and desperate defense, a stark contrast to the quiet suburban neighborhood outside. When the police arrived, they found the scene in disarray. Johnny and Cassandra, realizing the imminent arrival of law enforcement, fled the scene in a desperate attempt to evade capture. The presence of the couple at the crime scene and their subsequent flight confirmed their involvement in a series of violent actions that were becoming increasingly erratic and dangerous. The officers quickly assessed the situation, providing immediate assistance to the injured victims while issuing an alert to locate the fleeing suspects. This violent incident not only highlighted the danger posed by Johnny and Cassandra, but also connected them directly to the mysterious absence of Wendy and Randall Bjork, setting the stage for the tragic discoveries that would soon follow. In the midst of the chaos following the assault on Johnny Ryder's sister and her boyfriend, officers made a critical discovery that would significantly alter the course of their investigation. Parked conspicuously at the scene was a vehicle registered to Wendy and Randall Bjorg, the very couple who had been the subject of multiple welfare checks in the preceding days. This finding was more than just a coincidence. It was a glaring red flag that linked the young couple's violent behavior directly to the ongoing mystery of the Bjorgs' unexplained absence. The discovery of the car not only provided a tangible connection between the two incidents, but also raised immediate and grave concerns about the well-being of Wendy and Randall. The officers knew that this crucial piece of evidence warranted a reevaluation of the situation at the Bjorg residence with a renewed sense of urgency and a broader investigative scope. With the vehicle's discovery serving as probable cause, the police were now equipped with the justification needed to take more assertive action. Determined to uncover the truth and ensure the safety of the homeowners, officers decided to reapproach the Bjorg residence on Furlong Run, this time prepared to force entry if necessary. The decision to break into the home was not made lightly, but the combination of the recent violent assault and the unexplained presence of the Bjorg's vehicle at the scene compelled them to act decisively. The officers approached the house with heightened alertness, aware that they were potentially stepping into a volatile and dangerous situation. Their objective was clear: to locate Wendy and Randall and to understand the full extent of what had transpired. The stakes were higher than ever, and as they prepared to enter the home, the gravity of the moment was palpable. They were about to unveil the hidden truths that had been cloaked in the eerie silence of the Bjorg residence, leading to the heartbreaking discovery that lay within. At approximately 11:13 p.m. on April 8, 2017, under the cover of darkness and driven by a sense of urgency and dread, police officers broke into the Bjorg home. The tension in the air was palpable as they forced open the front door and stepped into the eerily quiet house. Flashlights in hand, they methodically swept through each room, their senses on high alert for any signs of life or further danger. The home, once a place of warmth and family gatherings, now felt cold and foreboding. As they moved upstairs, the officers' unease grew. The silence was deafening, amplifying the sounds of their footsteps and the creaking of the old house. The thorough search led them to the upstairs bathroom, where something seemed off. The door was firmly sealed with silicone, an unusual and suspicious barrier that immediately heightened their anxiety. With a sense of foreboding, the officers forced open the bathroom door, revealing a scene that confirmed their worst fears. Inside, they discovered the lifeless bodies of Wendy and Randall Bjorg. The sight was harrowing and heart-wrenching. Both victims showed clear signs of a violent death, their throats slashed, and their bodies bearing the marks of blunt force trauma. The silicone seal around the door had been an attempt to contain the gruesome reality of their decomposing remains, but it could not mask the horror of the crime. The once pristine bathroom had become a macabre tomb, the air thick with the unmistakable stench of death. The officers, though trained for such moments, were visibly shaken by the brutality and cold-blooded nature of the murders. This discovery not only confirmed the suspicions that had been building over the past week, but also painted a grim picture of the events that had transpired. The nightmare they had uncovered in that sealed bathroom was a stark testament to the darkness that had invaded the Bjorg home. Meanwhile, Cassandra and Johnny were on the run. They stole Johnny's sister's vehicle and fled to the residence of a friend at the residences at McGinnis Ferry. They were not there to seek solace. Rather, they were hiding from the inevitable police pursuit. By now, their faces were plastered across local news as prime suspects in a gruesome double murder. On the morning of April 9th, police tracked the stolen vehicle to 4025 McGinnis Ferry Road. Surveillance teams confirmed the presence of Cassandra and Johnny in one of the apartments. Recognizing the potential danger of the situation, the Gwinnett County SWAT team was activated. A tense standoff ensued, with the suspects refusing to surrender. Eventually, the SWAT team, faced with the urgent need to apprehend the dangerous suspects, made the critical decision to breach the apartment at the residences at McGinnis Ferry. The operation was conducted with precision and caution, as the officers were aware of the potential threats posed by Cassandra and Johnny. The team positioned themselves strategically, their movements synchronized to ensure maximum safety and effectiveness. The sound of the breach was swift and decisive, as doors were forcefully opened and officers surged into the apartment. Inside, the scene they encountered was grim and disturbing. Cassandra and Johnny lay on the floor, their wrists bearing deep, self-inflicted knife wounds. Blood pooled around them, indicating their desperate attempt to end their lives and escape the consequences of their actions. The air was thick with the metallic scent of blood and the tension of the moment. The sight of the young couple, so intent on their self-destruction, was a stark reminder of the depth of their desperation and guilt. The SWAT team quickly moved to secure the scene, ensuring that no further harm could come to Cassandra and Johnny or to themselves. Medics, who had been on standby, were immediately summoned to provide life-saving first aid. The suspects were stabilized and swiftly transported to Gwinnett Medical Center Lawrenceville for emergency treatment. As they were rushed through the hospital doors, handcuffed and under heavy guard, the gravity of their situation began to sink in. The medical staff worked diligently to treat their injuries, while law enforcement maintained a watchful presence. The hospital, typically a place of healing and hope, now served as a temporary holding area for the two individuals at the center of a tragic and horrific series of events. Cassandra and Johnny's suicide attempt had failed, but it marked a crucial turn in the investigation, ensuring they would face justice for the unimaginable crimes they had committed. As Cassandra and Johnny lay in their hospital beds, guarded by law enforcement, the full scale of their crimes came to light. Detectives pieced together the timeline of events, uncovering a narrative of brutal violence and desperate evasion. The community struggled to comprehend the motives behind such heinous acts, while the families involved were left to pick up the pieces. The legal proceedings that followed the apprehension of Cassandra Bjorg and Johnny Ryder were nothing short of intense. As the trial began, the courtroom was filled with a palpable sense of anticipation and gravity. Prosecutors meticulously laid out a detailed and compelling case against the young couple, determined to secure justice for the brutal murders of Wendy and Randall Bjorg. The evidence presented was overwhelming, painting a chilling picture of calculated and premeditated violence. The prosecution strategy was clear: to demonstrate beyond any doubt that Cassandra and Johnny had not only committed the heinous acts but had done so with a level of cold-blooded precision that underscored their guilt. The courtroom was riveted as prosecutors detailed the horrific events. They began by describing the methodical planning and execution of the murders, emphasizing the gruesome nature of the victims' deaths. The autopsy reports, photographs, and forensic evidence revealed the brutality inflicted upon Wendy and Randall. The week the couple spent living in the house with the decomposing bodies was presented as further evidence of their detachment and depravity. Prosecutors highlighted their drug-fueled stupor during this period, suggesting it was both an attempt to escape reality and a demonstration of their callousness. The narrative then shifted to the subsequent violent assault on Johnny's sister and her boyfriend, showcasing the couple's escalating danger and instability. The dramatic standoff with the police, culminating in their capture, painted a complete picture of their desperate flight from justice. Each piece of evidence, from crime scene photos to testimony from the assaulted victims, reinforced the image of a duo spiraling into violent madness. The prosecution's case was thorough and unyielding, leaving the jury with a vivid and horrifying account of the crimes. The defense, faced with such damning evidence, struggled to counter the prosecution's narrative. They attempted to portray Cassandra and Johnny as troubled youths, influenced by drugs and a toxic relationship. Psychological evaluations and testimonies about their troubled backgrounds were presented in an attempt to elicit some sympathy and understanding from the jury. However, the overwhelming evidence of their calculated actions and the sheer brutality of their crimes left little room for doubt. The prosecution's portrayal of Cassandra and Johnny as remorseless and dangerous individuals who meticulously planned and executed a series of violent acts proved to be a decisive factor. The jury, confronted with the detailed and harrowing accounts of the murders, the callousness displayed afterward, and the subsequent violent behaviors, found the couple guilty. The verdict was a relief to the community and a somber closure to a case that had revealed the darkest facets of human behavior. The legal proceedings had not only brought justice for Wendy and Randall Bjorg, but had also underscored the importance of vigilance and the need to address the underlying issues that can lead to such tragedies. The trial of Cassandra Bjorg and Johnny Ryder captivated the public, drawing widespread media attention. Each revelation painted a darker picture of the duo's actions and their descent into violence. In the end, both were found guilty of the murders and sentenced to lengthy prison terms, ensuring they would never again pose a threat to society. The Bjorg murders left an indelible mark on Gwinnett County. The brutal loss of Wendy and Randall, coupled with the shocking involvement of their granddaughter and her boyfriend, sparked discussions about mental health, substance abuse, and the hidden dangers within seemingly normal households. The case served as a grim reminder of the potential for darkness in even the most unexpected places. Meet Sarah. Like many of us, she used to dread bedtime. Hours spent tossing and turning, waking up groggy and irritable, and worst of all, her relentless snoring that not only disturbed her sleep, but her partner's as well. Desperate for a solution, Sarah tried everything. New mattresses, white noise machines, even sleeping pills. Nothing worked until she discovered our breathing for sleep routine. One particularly frustrating night, Sarah stumbled upon an article about the power of breathing to improve sleep. Skeptical but willing to try anything, she read about our breathing for sleep routine, a simple, scientifically backed method designed to clear sinuses, enhance breathing, and eliminate oxygen blockades. It promised to guide users through a simple breathing routine for the best sleep of their lives. Intrigued, she decided to give it a shot. As she began the routine, Sarah immediately felt her sinuses clear. She followed the step-by-step guide, learning how to breathe deeply and correctly. Within minutes, she noticed a significant difference. Her breathing was smoother, more relaxed. That night, she fell asleep faster than she had in years and, incredibly, stayed asleep all night. One of the most astonishing benefits was the end of her snoring. The routine included a simple breathing hack that stopped her snoring in minutes. Sarah learned that her habit of mouth breathing was activating her survival mode, preventing her from achieving truly restful sleep. By switching to nasal breathing, she deactivated this mode and allowed her body to fully relax. The next morning, Sarah woke up feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. She couldn't remember the last time she felt so well rested. Her partner noticed the difference too. No more middle-of-the-night disruptions from her snoring. The transformation was remarkable, and Sarah knew she had found something special. Sarah's story is not unique. Many others have discovered the life-changing benefits of our breathing for sleep routine. Imagine falling asleep quickly, sleeping soundly through the night, and waking up feeling fully rested. No more snoring, no more grogginess, just deep, restorative sleep. Are you ready to transform your sleep like Sarah did? Our breathing for sleep routine is easy to follow and starts working immediately. Clear your sinuses, enhance your breathing, and remove oxygen blockades with our guided routine. Say goodbye to snoring and hello to the best sleep of your life. Don't spend another night tossing and turning. Experience the power of proper breathing and reclaim your nights. Try our breathing for sleep routine tonight and wake up to a new, refreshed you. Because everyone deserves the gift of deep, restful sleep. Check out the link for this wonder in the description and the comments.